I now have the honor and the privilege to introduce an incredible, amazing woman. Yes, she's an amazing leader. And I'd go as far as saying that she's Mother South Pacific, okay? She's always looking out for people in Australia and New Zealand, whether they're in her team or not. She just has a big heart, and she has taken time out of her busy schedule to bless us with some words. And I'm really excited to hear from her as she talks to us a little bit more about Neolife products and our special segment. With that, let's now bring forth to the stage via Zoom from New Zealand, 3 Ruby Director, World Team Member, Joan Dewe. Hi, Joan. Welcome to the call. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Cesar. Great to see you on the call tonight. It's wonderful to be doing this from the warmth inside our house. Today in Auckland, we had a civil alert at midday come through our phones to say we've got flooding happening again. So I'm delighted not to have to go out in the wet tonight. So Bruce and I have been part of Neolife, or Neolife has been part of our life for just about 35 years. It was in the 80s that we first got started, and it was because Bruce got a good result with the products. I was the skeptic in the family because he'd looked at many other things, but he got a good result. But tonight I want to look at the women who have been important, have been the mentors in our life, in Neolife. And I just want to mention for a moment our sponsor. The wife of our sponsor was a feisty little Italian lady, but actually was very, very shy. And when they started with Neolife, she was terrified of talking with people. And so she shut herself up in a room for 5 days and phoned people from the phone book. But she started with the Zs because she said nobody ever gets to the Zs. And by the time she'd got to the Ts, she had got 4 directors in her business. So, you know, she overcame her timidity to do what her passion was to share with others. And I think of further upline here, the VPs, the Krauses who were here. You know, Emma Jo said to us, when you've been taking Neolife Shake every day like I have for as long as I have, you're going to hate it some days. And she had a rule for herself because she had problems with her blood sugar that she would not eat anything else until she had her Neolife Shake. And sometimes that was 11 o'clock in the morning. But that was her determination to do what she knew she needed to do to look after her health. And that was a good witness to me as well. And then another woman in the upline is Charlotte. Charlotte and her husband were together in the business for many, many, many years. And then when he passed away suddenly, not so long ago, Charlotte picked herself up and she has continued to head the business all by herself. So there are models and mentors that are really important to me. And these are some of the women who've stood out. So let us just have a look at women's health. You know, women make up almost half the population. There's a lot of us around the world, and we're juggling lots of roles. We're nurturing at home, often nurturing in business, but involved in business and involved in the politics. I'm on the next slide, Cesar. Those of us who watched the coronation last weekend saw a woman with a very public role right out in front there. It's quite amazing. And over our lifetime, for women, we have many physiological changes, right from teenage years through to our 40s and 50s and beyond, that can be challenges to our ongoing physical and mental well-being. And so with what I'm sharing with you tonight, with what Neolife has to offer, we can supercharge our success by keeping well. Let's look at the next slide. This is a slide that you know well, those of you who've been to some of the talks before. We know about Pro-Vitality. We know that it's a sampling of 4 of the basic things that are really important to have at least one of each of those in our daily addition to the food we eat. But what I want to look at the moment, if you look down the left there in Pro Vitality, we've got the 21 essential vitamins and minerals. And in relation to women, minerals are really important. We lose a lot of minerals through menstruation, and we need minerals to reduce fluid retention and hot flushes. So that's another reason for having the Pro Vitality. What about the lipids and sterols, the TRINN that is in there? That helps normalize our glandular hormone production and helps maintain a good monthly cycle. What about the carotenoids? We know they're antioxidants. We know they're from brightly coloured fruits and veg. But one of the things it does for women who have fibrocystic, non-cancerous fibrocystic breast lumps, it can reduce the pain and the size of those. So what about the omega-3 salmon oil that's in the Pro Vitality? Salmon oil reduces pain and inflammation of premenstrual tension and menstruation. So if you weren't convinced before, ladies, that this was important, this Pro Vitality in and of itself may be enough to adjust some of the hiccups you might be experiencing along the way. Let's look at the next slide with calcium. So this is a graph that is for women. You've got bone mass on the left upright. You've got age along the bottom. The solid purple line is the potential. The dotted line is the reality for a lot of people, which is a lot short of potential. But notice that at about 2025, our bone mass as women is at its peak. And then at menopause, around somewhere between mid-40s, 50, round about there, it drops off markedly due to the estrogen changes in our body. Calcium is really important for the signaling pathways for our nerve and muscle function. So let's look at the next slide. And we're looking at specifics with calcium with regard to premenstrual tension. So calcium is important in the normal menstrual cycle for women. And premenstrual tension affects 15 to 20% of all premenopausal women. Seems like more than that at the time, doesn't it? And some of those things that happen, people become irritable, they get bloated, they crave foods, their breasts get tender, they can get depressed, have a lot of mood swings, can't sleep well. And calcium is incredibly important. You'll see here that in a trial, 73% of women reported fewer symptoms. I have to tell you a story. I'm just staying there for a moment. I have to tell you a story about a practitioner friend of ours who uses Neolife. She had a lady come in who was, I'm going to say mad as a hatter. She was premenstrual. And right there and then, our friend practitioner shook out 6 CalMag and said to her, I'm going to have 6. Why don't you have 6 as well? So they both had 6 CalMag. And over the next 5 minutes, the woman settled right down. So she took some CalMag home, but she forgot to take it all month until she had it sitting on top of the fridge. And she said that when she got premenstrual, she used to take the bread knife to her husband. So what she would do, instead of the bread knife, she reached for her CalMag when she got into that premenstrual state. Much better to take it every day, but at least we know it works even in extreme cases. So let's look at calcium in menopause for older women. Okay, calcium, as I said, is a really important part of running our menstrual cycle. And at menopause, with less estrogen being produced, the calcium levels drop off. And some of the signs of this happening is the hot flushes, trouble sleeping, periods becoming irregular, and this might go on for 2 to 8 years. And over this time, if there's not increased calcium introduced into the diet, the bones start to become osteoporotic. Okay, a lot of bone loss, estrogen loss, and this is where CalMag is an essential part for women to add into their diet. So as well as calcium, we have magnesium. We have the blend of this 2 calcium to 1 magnesium because they go well together. They support each other. Magnesium by itself has a hugely important role in looking after many chemical reactions in our body. It produces energy. It helps produce proteins. It's good for our mind and our overall mood. It's good for relaxing our muscles with muscle cramps, and it helps keeps our bones strong. And stress depletes magnesium. And when we have low magnesium levels, high blood pressure starts to creep up. So magnesium's important for keeping blood pressure down in its normal range. And magnesium stimulates the calcium uptake. So you don't need to take the magnesium by itself, but it functions with the CalMag along with it. And we have vitamin D in our CalMag as well. And this also enhances the uptake of CalMag. So the calcium magnesium is pure. The process by which it's put together ensures that we don't get a stomach ache when we have the minerals, that they get well absorbed and they're able to be utilised to do their job. So if we have low vitamin D, I'm just staying with vitamin D for a moment, we tend to have increased body fat. It's been shown that the people get more cancers, they get more depression with low vitamin D. And so Neolife was very clever to add it into the calcium magnesium. And also it's been found that high calcium with vitamin D lowers the incidence of breast cancer by 60% in a 2007 study. So let's look at the next slide. Now we've got good reason to be taking CalMag. Let's have a look at the omega-3 salmon oil plus and see what help this is for women. So in general, it's got lots of benefits for anybody to take. It's good for the immune system. It's good for our heart. It helps us think better. Cognitive function improves. It's good for our eyes. And it's good for our muscles and our bone health. It helps stop muscle cramps as well. Good for our joints. Next slide. We're going to look at omega-3s during pregnancy. And we see that when omega-3 is taken during pregnancy, the weight of the baby is a better size. You don't get the premature small weight baby. Pregnant women tend to hold their babies to term. The babies also have been shown to have better eye and brain development as well. And mothers who are taking omega-3s, when they're breastfeeding, their babies get the benefit from this and develop, brain development happens faster. Now, you might say, well, what if the mother can't breastfeed? And it's been shown that it's helpful to add the omega-3s to any infant formula as well. So something that's also been shown, and it's in the Neolife Fast Facts, is that the omega-3s may prevent asthmatic mothers from passing it on to their offspring. So that's really worthwhile knowing. So let's look at omega-3s and menstruation. These are really important in helping to relieve the symptoms that we often get during menstruation of pain, severe pain, cramping during that time, and with premenstrual tension as well. So salmon oil plus. The study here shows that taking 1 capsule a day in 3 months decreases the intensity of pain. I wouldn't want to wait 3 months. The normal dose on the bottle is 2 to 3 caps a day. Why not take 3 a day and get rid of the pain faster? I think it's a a better idea. Okay, and we know that our Salmon Oil Plus is pure, has been tested against 200 contaminants. It's pure, and it's a combination of salmon, tuna, sardines, anchovies to get all the parts that we need there. Let's look at the next slide. The B vitamins are really important for all of us, actually. I just lost the slide there. But really important for people who are experiencing anemia. So if a woman is experiencing heavy periods, having extra B vitamins are important. They're important for the heart and for blood vessel disease, important for homocysteine control. So this is detoxing toxins from the liver, and homocysteine can aggravate or cause heart problems. And it helps reduce high cholesterol as well. So as well as that, it's good for your hair and good for the skin. And men have all the hair and skin too, but we women like to know that we're making it look as good as we can. Vitamin Bs give you energy, make you alert. They're involved in all neurotransmission. So that's speed of thinking and solving problems. One of the things I forgot to say before, let me just say now, with calcium, it's involved with a lot of nerve transmission. If you are feeling weepy or jumping at loud noises, it's the CalMag you need to go for. With B complex, if you're feeling overwhelm and depression and you feel like pulling the bed covers over you or wanting to stop the world to climb off, it's the B complex that you need. So that's a useful little thing for me. B vitamins are water soluble. That means you can't store them in your body. You need to take them every day. And foods, the B vitamins in foods are destroyed by heating, by freezing. Having coffee lowers your B vitamins, alcohol lowers your B vitamins, and stress uses up a lot of B vitamins as well. So there's a lot of reasons to go for the B complex. The complex is important because in nature, B vitamins are never found as isolates. They come together and they work. Each one works better when it's with the rest of the family. And the threshold control helps it have a sustained release over a good period of time. So looking at vitamin B and premenstrual tensions, it is useful if you have hot flushes, breast tenderness, cramps, or weight gain. Okay, it helps with symptoms related to moodiness, irritability, bloating, anxiety. It works in conjunction with magnesium very well too. And there's good research showing that it's worthwhile having on a regular basis. It's helpful for irregular or stopped periods. And if someone's taken oral contraceptives, they're going to need more vitamin B. And vitamin B on the continuous basis here is really good for hormone production. So vitamin B in pregnancy. More vitamin B is needed during pregnancy and in nursing and lactating. Okay, it helps prevent stretch marks. It's good for morning sickness and for fast growth times when the baby's growing inside of you. We know that folic acid, which is part of the B vitamins, is really important during pregnancy. It's involved in the production of blood cells and the DNA for new cells. It helps in the prevention of premature births and low-weight babies. So in other words, if people have a tendency to miscarry, having B vitamins are important to help them sustain their pregnancy right through. It's involved in the prevention of neural tube defects, and it's recommended to have 400 to 800 micrograms of folic acid a day. And of our B complex tablets, that's 1 to 2 tablets. B vitamin 12 is also essential in the baby's development. So let's look at the feminine herbals. Herbals are a useful adjunct for wellness when otherwise we're healthy, but there are challenges to our wellness that are stopping us feeling our best. And we have a special blend for the normal menstrual cycle and the herbs to help balance it out and help it function at its really best. It's a form of traditional medicine in many cultures. And in Neolife, we don't have just one herb. We have several synergistic herbs that work together to do a good job. And we've got really high standards. We have no molds, no bacteria, no toxic gases, no gamma radiation to get the purity and potency. So it's really, really safe and it's non-addictive. So in our feminine herbal complex, we've got 10 herbs that work together to support our normal monthly cycle. They restore physiological and emotional balance. They relieve symptoms of premenstrual tension, and they restore our well-being. So we've just got a few of them listed here. Ginger root supports relaxing muscles and reduces swelling. St. John's wort, which elevates your mood and supports calmness and keeps a positive mental attitude, relieves tension and irritation and inflammation. Dandelion root reduces bloating and fluid retention. And Vitex root, think the tex part here because tex rhymes with sex, and it's really important for helping regulate normal function, physiological function in that regard as well. So, you know, there are lots of the other 10 herbs, things like lady's mantle, red sage, Chinese angelica, skullcap, wild yam, licorice root. They all work together, each having its little part to play. And I would suggest if you have a teenager who's having difficulty with their periods, I would get them to start with the Pro Vitality, and I would add the Neolife Shake as well. I'll talk about that in a minute. But add the feminine herbal complex because that might be enough to stabilize them. And if it's not enough, then you look at adding in the CalMag and some of the other things we've talked about there. So exercise is not just an add-on at the end. We know about exercise for all of us anyhow, but for women with monthly issues, especially with premenstrual tension, go for a walk, do some exercise, get out, and it helps our mood, it helps our sense of well-being, gives us a chance for reflection. It builds our muscles, especially around menopause. It's really important to keep doing exercise. And it's not a mistake that we've got a lady there with weights, because doing good muscle work, doing heavy lifting is important. As women age, we tend to lose our balance and have falls and break our hips and do those kind of things, which I don't plan to do. So it's really important that we have exercise as a part of our life. And we know that 5 days a week, 30 minutes walking will do the job, and keep doing the housework and the gardening and the other things that will keep your muscles strong. So let's have another look at the special for this month, and we'll just look at the next slide again, because you might say, well, why have we got in here? We've got the CalMag, we've got the Feminine Herbal Complex, but we've got Cruciferous Plus and Flavonoid Plus, and I haven't even talked about those tonight. But if you saw Neolife's Facebook post this month for the Women's Pink Ribbon Month, you will see that Neolife states very clearly there that Cruciferous Plus and Flavonoid Complex strongly inhibit the growth of human breast cancer cells. So we've put those into the special for this month just to give that extra protection. And with the Neolife Shake here, for women It also assists hormone production, relieves premenstrual tension, and stabilize weight and blood sugar, which is really important for us. And of course, there's more. There's other products we can talk about, but that's enough to get us started and to get the benefits of what Neolife has for us. And it's my great pleasure now to introduce my friend Sarah, who I've known for 20 years or so, round about that. Sarah and her husband and her daughters. And Sarah, we're so glad you've taken the time to come and share with us tonight. We're so grateful for the things you do for other women. So let's welcome Sarah to talk to us now. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Joan. That's so beautiful. I feel so privileged and honoured to be here speaking with you all tonight, and feel so honoured to hear you again, Joan. You're so much knowledge and are just such a brilliant asset to this company and to the world. So thank you so much. Thank you. As Joan said, James, my husband James, and I have been. We joined Neolife in our early 20s, and so we've been with this company now, this beautiful family, for the last 20 years. And Cesar, I too am happy to share my age. I'm 46 this year and so grateful to Neolife. There's no Botox on the horizon. Thank you, Neolife. People sometimes say to me, what do you do? You look so young. And I say it's a combination of kinesiology and great nutrition through Neolife. So thank you. Look, when I was asked to give a testimonial tonight, so many amazing stories ran through my mind. I have had the blessing of being a kinesiologist and nutritionist for also around the last 20 years. And so I've seen so many clients, so many women at so many different stages of life that have really been hugely impacted in a positive way by these brilliant products and this amazing company. But I decided tonight to share the experience that really had the biggest effect on myself and on James. And this was our own experience of using the Neolife products to conceive our first baby. Joan knows the story well. I had a story that I think, lots of people will relate to, and lots of people I hear a lot in my practice today. I spent my 20s and my 30s building my business. As I said, I had the blessing of studying kinesiology with Dr. Bruce and Joan Dewe, and I can see Rowie there as well, another amazing kinesiologist. Hi. And so, we are so passionate about what we do. And I found, I was working 5 days a week in practice, loving what I do. And then also had the blessing of then starting to teach other people kinesiology. So I was teaching on weekends. And so, working sometimes 7 days a week for long periods of time, and then went, okay, right, now I'm ready to become a mother. Didn't happen. And I eat well, and I was taking some basic supplementation, not always Neolife at that stage, maybe. And I had a conversation with the amazing Dr. Dewe, and he said, you, my dear, are still in adrenal mode. Let's see what products you need to start taking. And I started religiously taking these products, and I'm very happy to share. If I've got time, Cesar, do I have time to share which products? Okay, great, because I could talk for days on Neolife. But I started taking my products religiously. And after 8 weeks, ta-da, Mother Nature happened, and we had our first little baby girl, Ziva, with ease. My pregnancy was a breeze. My birth was amazing, and it's been great hearing Joan speak about many of those products again, because I'm like, yeah, this is why I felt so great. And still, as a mother, kids, as we know, take a lot of energy, and I, swear by Neolife every day getting me through. So the products I started to take, I was taking the Feminine Herbal Complex, most definitely, but also added some vitamin E into this as well. And this really helped to get my hormones back into balance. Of course, the foundation of Formula 4, we know, as Joan said, the multivitamin, the multi-mineral, and that treonine, that's the key to getting all the good organic food I was eating and all the supplements I was taking actually into my cells to help my hormones and to help my body. I had definitely the vitamin B complex still to this day. If mothers out there are not taking it, you need to be taking it, because I could relate. I wanted to pull the blankets over my head and felt overwhelmed by life. And the B complex was really that crutch in my life every day that keeps me buoyant, you know, and it really helped me getting pregnant. Vitamin C, inflammation, and really also supported my adrenals. Definitely there was salmon oil plus, you know, again for that inflammation support, also my hormones. Mag, this I have to say is hands down my favorite product, you know, Mother Nature's nervous system tonic. I was taking a lot of these each day to get my adrenals calmed down after my massive work career. And then, of course, the Neo Shake to give my body all those amazing amino acids to create life. And so, as I said, Ziva was born after taking these amazing products religiously for only 8 weeks. And, you know, I'm excited to say then when we decided to have our second child, I already kept taking many of those products. So again, our second child, Samara, was born. Pregnancy, you know, and birthing was really a breeze, you know, and I guess now we raise the whole family, cats, kids, dogs, horses, everyone gets their little dose of Neolife on our farm now. And, you know, we will always be grateful to Neolife and to Dr. Bruce and Joan Dewe for sharing this brilliant company with us, because really without Neolife, I don't know where our little family would be or how many members our little family would have. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. And thank you so much, Joan, for an amazing, awesome call. I think